U.S. President Joe Biden is welcoming the heads of NATO member states to Washington, D.C. tonight for an annual summit that gives the embattled president an international stage to convince allies at home and abroad he can still lead. While that part of the story has certainly been trending, the bigger issue at hand is Ukraine's bid for NATO membership. Biden's administration is holding firm on the expansion of the alliance, but experts warn membership now will most certainly prolong the war and potentially expand it.
But our commitment is broad and deep, that we're ready, that we're willing, we're able to deter aggression and defend every inch of NATO territory across every domain: land, air, sea, cyber, and space. My friends, it's good that we're stronger than ever, because this moment in history calls for our collective strength.
I will say that a significant amount of time has gone into discussions about the wording about Ukraine's path to membership.
The ongoing war in Ukraine and the country's NATO ambitions are expected to top the agenda of the three-day summit.
Ukraine's future is in NATO, and the communique will make that very clear, and you'll all get to see the language and talk about it when it's publicly released.
New robust measures to support Ukraine are set to be announced, and a number of officials with the Biden administration made that abundantly clear today.
Further strengthen Ukraine's ties to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and its path to membership.
NATO is in Ukraine's future, and the communique will state that very plainly and very clearly.
U.S. President Joe Biden will meet one-on-one with President Volodymyr Zelensky on Thursday
to discuss our unwavering support for Ukraine as it continues to defend itself from Russian aggression.
At last year's summit, attendees agreed that Ukraine should join the alliance only once conditions permit, namely the end of the Russian invasion and Ukraine making a series of democratic reforms to stamp out corruption.
We are fighting for additional security guarantees for Ukraine, including weapons and finances, political support.
But today, NATO's outgoing Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg told reporters that a commitment will be made on Ukraine this time around, Russia paying close attention.
None of this would have been possible without the leadership of the United States, of President Biden, of you, to ensure that we have now 32 allies agreeing on all these important decisions we will take during the summit here in Washington. We will make decisions on Ukraine, and I think what we have seen over the last days demonstrates the need to step up our support for Ukraine.
Ukraine ultimately wants to join NATO to ward against future attacks by Russia, but NATO candidates have to be approved by all of the alliance's members, some of which have voiced concerns with it provoking a direct war with Russia. Moscow sees NATO as a vehicle for U.S. dominance and has accused the alliance of returning to a Cold War mindset.